All right, so before I get into this, let's define some things. You guys have heard of the word chromosome before? Does anyone happen to know how many chromosomes our body has? 46. Linear or circular? Linear. So you've seen them, they look like this. Right, that's more like sister chromatids, but we have 46 of them, right? Now the bacteria, does it have 46 linear chromosomes? No, what does it have? 1, and is it linear? It's circular. And what is it made out of? It's a stupid question, but that's why you guys aren't DNA, yeah. I ask this sometimes. It's the only reason I ask that is because viruses can have DNA or RNA, whereas bacteria have DNA. Okay? So they have one giant circular chromosome. Okay? And all bacteria have that one giant circular chromosome. If you pulled it out and stretched it out, it would be a giant circle. But when it's inside, obviously, it's going to be a mess. Okay, so let's say that you're sick one day. You go to the doctor, and he says you have a bacterial infection. Okay, and let's just say these are the bacteria inside of you. Okay, they all have their one big circular chromosome. Okay, and he says, you're really, really sick. I'm going to give you an antibiotic. I want you to take it for 2 weeks. He's like, I don't care if you feel better after 3 days. You're going to take it for the 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Okay. You go home. You take it for 3 days, and you feel fine after. Because, let's say, most of them died. Okay. You feel fine. You're like, I don't have money to pay for this, and I hate swallowing pills, so I'm going to stop taking my antibiotic, which we'll learn about later is one of my biggest pet peeves. But you stop taking it. Now, you may feel better, but there may be a few number of bacteria inside of you still. Why did those ones survive? They're just a little stronger, okay? You need to take it for the whole 2 weeks to kill them all. So he's alive, and he could have a mutation. He could just happen to be a little stronger than the others, but he's alive, and he's like, wow, that was terrible. This antibiotic came in, and it killed all my friends. And that's really sad, right? He's like, oh, I know the trick. I know how to escape that antibiotic. Okay? And then one of his friends comes back. And his friend is like, whoa, did you see what just happened? This antibiotic came in and killed everyone. Right? He's like, oh, no, don't worry. I know the trick. And he's like, really? You know the trick? Like, tell me. How is he going to tell him the trick? He's going to share what? His whole chromosome? That would be ridiculous. He's going to share plasmids. Plasmids are small circular DNA. And they can know, since they're so small, they can't hold a ton of information, right? I highly suggest memorizing these two things that I'm about to say. Plasmids can know 2 things. What am I talking about in this story? What does that plasmid hold the information for? Antibiotic resistance.
So you said plasmids are small DNA?
Yeah, a lot smaller. It's still made out of DNA. It's still a circle, but it's very small. Much smaller than the bacterial chromosome. It can know antibiotic resistance. The next one, does anyone happen to know it? It's something you're going to learn much later in the course, so you probably saw it, but it didn't mean anything to you yet. It's toxin production. So bacteria can produce toxins, and our body hates them. And so if one bacteria has a toxin, it's like, hey, you want this toxin because it's really, really good. And so they can share it through plasmids. Don't worry too much about it yet, just memorize those. That's one thing, memorizing. Just memorize those 2. Now, does he only have one plasmid?
No.
He can have no plasmids. He could have hundreds of plasmids. Okay? So let's just draw a couple more. And what is he going to do with it?
Share it with the other.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I know the trick to escape this antibiotic. Let me give it to you so you don't die. Okay? And how does it just like teleport over? What's the other structure? The pili. Now, pili is a lot, kind of synonymous with fimbriae. Do you guys remember what fimbriae are?
Yeah.
They're used for attachment. Yeah, but this is a sex pili. Okay, so this is the one that it performs conjugation. Does anyone know what conjugation is?
The sharing
Of the plasmid, yeah. So I'm just gonna write sex pilus. That's how you say it, but I don't know how to spell it. And the plasmids go through the pili to the other bacteria.